Which do you think it was?
I'm not going to speculate. I'm hoping the FBI completes their investigation soon, after a thorough job, and we'll let the facts be what they find out.
What do you make of what the Iraqi government is saying? Deliberate murder.
I think the Iraqi Interior Ministry has been under a lot of scrutiny for a long time because it's been described as a nest of sectarian militias. The Jones Commission, the 20...
This was not the Interior Minister, this was the Prime Minister.
Well, a lot of that's being fed from the Interior Ministry. You have the Jones Commission, which, General Jones and 20 other U.S. generals and chiefs of police were over there doing an independent commission on security in Iraq, something that Congress called for. In that commission, they call the Ministry of Interior a ministry in name only, and that the National Police should be disbanded. Not all the people in the Ministry of Interior are bad, but they certainly have some issues, and anyone that operates in Iraq would agree with that.
Why are you so convinced that this was not one of those cases where, because of the fog of war, your guys made a mistake?
I'm not saying it's impossible they made a mistake. I'm saying on the front end, we do a very thorough job of finding the best of the best. These are true, proven professionals that come out of the U.S. military that have significant positions of responsibility already. We put them through extensive vetting, psychological evaluations. We put them through more vetting and procedures dictated by the State Department than most soldiers in the U.S. military do. So yes, it is a very tough job. It requires the tightest of judgment. Is it possible they made a mistake? Yes.
But they have assured you, in what they have said to you, they did make a mistake, that there was provocation before they acted.
In the statements I've seen, that is the case.
I want to give you a chance because you feel like that the media and others have made baseless allegations.
Yes, but I'm also not prejudging to say that they're completely innocent. I'm saying from their track record as proven individuals working in high-threat situations for the past many years. Almost all those guys were military veterans of Iraq or Afghanistan, serving there as an active duty member of the armed forces. They had good service then. There's no reason to believe that suddenly they went rogue. I don't believe they did. Is it possible one of them had bad judgment? Yes, that is possible. But the fact is, I'm very confident that there was bullet impacts in their vehicles to the point that one of them was disabled. I don't know the timing.
You don't know who shot first?
No, but I do know that less than a mile away, the day started with an enormous car bomb going off. And, as has been our experience in hundreds of other attacks against us, bad things generally don't happen by themselves.
When you look at this, suppose the judgment of the FBI is, as you know, the president has already said, innocents were killed. The president has said that. Suppose the judgment goes against you. What should happen to those men? Suppose they say Blackwater was not provoked and they killed innocents.
The State Department motorcade that they were in?
Right.
Right. Because remember, we don't have operational control over them. We, by contract, recruit, we vet, we screen them, we train them, we equip them, we deploy them, all of it dictated by contract. We send them over to work for the State Department, and they have their operational control. They were carrying U.S. government, State Department weapons, driving State Department armored vehicles. So I didn't have operational control of them. They were doing a State Department mission. If one of those guys or some of them made a mistake,
they were employed by you. They were employed by Blackwater.
Their paycheck was from us.
Right.
Yes. Operational control provided to the U.S. government.
Now, is that in a way of sort of saying it's not my responsibility because operational control was with somebody else? Is that what you want to suggest?
Well, I think it speaks to we weren't allowed to choose the tactics or the rules of engagement or the method of their employment. That was dictated to us it was dictated to the team by the persons they worked for, by the State Department, by the Regional Security Office. Now, to answer your question, if one of them made a mistake, if they believe it was malicious and there's evidence to prove it, absolutely we support full prosecution and full investigation and prosecution of those that are suspected.
On a due process, an American jurisdiction.
Absolutely.
Where are they now? Are they at work in Baghdad doing security work?
I believe some of them are at work. They're assisting in the ongoing investigation.
What's the responsibility of Blackwater, of the State Department, if innocent civilians are killed?
As we've done in the past, if there's innocents killed, like from a traffic accident or from a bullet that ricocheted, there's been compensation paid to families. DoD, Department of Defense, actually has a kind of a set protocol for compensating accidental loss of life, whether they drop a bomb on the wrong house, a tank backs over a car and kills someone, if it's an unintentional collateral damage.
Okay. Let me pull back from this and talk about the following. Some people wonder, why do we have private security guards in Iraq? Help us understand why they're there, rather than the military guarding.
The outsourcing of this kind of security actually started in about 1992. The U.S. government has, the U.S. Department of Defense significantly drew down their forces in the late 90s. There was a lot of private sector positions that were required then to fill some of those gaps that were created. Diplomatic security started, I believe, as far back as Haiti and Bosnia, contracting that out to private organizations under control of the State Department.
And you think it's a good idea?
I'm not a policy guy. We're here to fill the job that is needed of us, whether it's training people. I mean, and that's the other thing I want to characterize. I didn't start Blackwater to be a private security company. Built, you saw the facility. It's one of the largest private training facilities in the world. We train hundreds and hundreds of U.S. military, state, federal law enforcement personnel every day. We got into the security business because we had excellent trainers, we had great curriculum, and we had big facilities that we could do large amounts of personnel that needed to be trained to a very high standard to do high-end security. So when the government demand came for a lot of extra security, especially after 9/11 in Afghanistan and then in Iraq, we competed for a lot of those. We were called, can you do this? Can you do this fast? And we answered the call and we got it done.
You're suggesting some successes. Tell me what they are in terms of getting the job done.
Like you said before, we've been successful at protecting the diplomats entrusted to our care 100% of the time.
This is the question that people raise about. One, some people like to look at what you do and what Blackwater does and say it sounds like mercenaries. I realize that you are Americans working for Americans to protect America. That's the way you see it.
Right.
And that mercenaries are traditionally defined as individuals who go in the employ of foreign governments and engage in warfare.
And it kind of connotes someone that would do anything for money. And in this case, protecting American diplomats, trying to reconstruction officials, trying to rebuild Iraq, I think for me, falls far from the definition of a mercenary.
A lot of people think of you that way, and you know that.
Is it just because we have guns? What about someone that fixes a helicopter? Are they just as much a mercenary? What about the guy that makes food?
They think of it because they say people who work for Blackwater don't have the same constraints that the military does.
Oh, we absolutely have the same constraints.
They're working for cash and they don't have the same restraints. And that's the difference. They haven't grown up in the same system. As someone said, they differ from the military in that the military is motivated and is trained by the trappings of history and being part of something larger, a collective, and one hopes right. But being a contractor strips much of that away and replaces it with cash.
No, I disagree with that. I mean, the people we employ, you know, there's thousands of people the U.S. military train every year. They get out at the end of their normal rotations, whether it's 4, 6, or 8 years. We, as a private contractor, provide the taxpayers with a way to reuse a lot of those talents and training that they already received while working for the U.S. government. So this idea that they throw off all their military backgrounds and just work for cash, it's just not accurate because, believe me, there's still a healthy rivalry between the guys that are in the Army and the Navy and the Ranger. You know, there's plenty of healthy ribbing that goes on. There's a lot of pride, but they're pride that they're Americans, still serving America, doing that job. And yes, it is different as a private contractor. There's not nearly the job security. There's no retirement benefits. There's no long-term employment guarantee. There's a lot of differences. Yes, they get paid well, but they get paid only for every day they're at work in a hot zone. They pay significant taxes right off the top of that, state and federal. They have to cover their own insurance, their own housing allowance, their own all those benefits that a soldier gets wrapped in, not cash type items. When you do an apples to apples comparison, the comp differences are really not that great.
And you make that point over and over in terms of those people who want to say that these guys are making so much more money and it costs so much more money to employ you than the Army spends on its own sergeants and privates, and you say they've got a long-term commitment to them, you've got a short-term commitment to these guys, and you don't have to pay pensions and the rest of it that the Army has to pay, as well as backup.
Right, and for every sergeant that the U.S. military has deployed, they have one or two that are not deployed in training and in stand-down.